Hello, my Broccolite people. Today I'm going to be answering your questions from my recent Q&A. I'd first like to start off this video just right off the bat, just to make a couple people happy. I'm going to bring my FOV down to 150. Oh my god, I know, crazy, right? But just so you guys don't get nauseated while I play, I'm going to be playing through the violence layer while I answer your questions. So yeah, let's just get started, right? So first question from Mornis. What are your expectations for Layer 8 and P3? And thank you for teaching us some sick-ass jackhammer techs. You're welcome, first of all. Really happy to make jackhammer stuff. Love the weapon. Expectations for Layer 3. I really hope that we get more angels, because it's kind of sad that we've gone so far with just virtues as our like sole angel and then Gabriel being a boss. That is very sad with how many demons and machines and everything we've gotten. I'd like to see 2 angels, though I know we're guaranteed to get one because it was confirmed, I'm pretty sure. Um, and as for P3, I would love to see some kind of violence layer motif, because there's this the world looks red, the music in the world looks red. Very common motif that's used all throughout the violence layer. I would love to see that used in the music, the same way that Requiem from Order was used as a motif. So bad. This is my warm-up, by the way. Okay. Anyway, next question. From Swags a Lot. I'm trying to level up my Cybergrind gameplay right now. I'm currently wave 70 Violent and wave 57 Brutal. If you don't mind, I have a recording on my channel showing my current skill level, and it'd be nice if you could critique it, maybe see what I could do better. I'd really appreciate it. So, I'm not going to critique it in this video, but I would like to do some kind of system at some point where I'll make a video critiquing some gameplay, maybe like 2 people like a video or something. Hopefully when I get like a Discord server off the ground, I'll do a whole announcement or like a video about that, so you guys can join, and that'll probably be a system in place in my server. So yeah, great idea. Something I've thought of and I would love to implement. Next question from Ken Hokai. Do you go to the gym IRL? No. Either no or you do then. Could you give me a routine tip for a higher quality cyber grinding session per week? I don't really have any tips for that. I'm pretty much, when it comes to like mouse and whatnot, I'm a wrist gamer. I don't like moving my mouse across my mouse pad. I actually just recently got a mouse pad. I like to use my wrist to move my mouse. I think I get it from console, because I was a console gamer before I got my PC. But all I would recommend is being able to set your sensitivity to a point where you are comfortable with doing wrist play. Because, I don't know, that sort of saved me as far as like anything workout related, or I don't know, technique related. Next question, opinions on autism from Equinox. This guy, he's in the comment section a lot, so I know he's messing around, but to answer the question seriously, obviously, I don't care about autism, right? Awesome, good for anyone in the ULTRAKILL community who is autistic, that being 90% of it. I will say I have very close friends and family who are autistic, and I love them to pieces, so do with that what you will. This next one is from Hexcellent. He says, what do you have to say about the rumors that you're developing secret real-life ULTRAKILL tech to usurp Akita as Grand Overlord of the ULTRAKILL property? So, I don't know if you've seen this guy's comments, but this is actually my close friend IRL. He loves posting unhinged shit. I think there was one comment he said, like, I made a video about the chainsaw, and he says, a lot of these tips about the chainsaw apply in real life, and it's fun stuff like that. To answer the question seriously, I'm hoping that my videos will apply some attention to the shotguns, because I really think the shotguns are doo-doo dookie. I think they suck. I would love to see a new mechanic implemented into them, just something that, the jackhammer doesn't have, that the shotgun can do that no other weapon can do, really. Because the way I see the shotgun now, it's kind of just like a mini jackhammer and a mini rocket launcher combined, which is like lame, in my opinion. I would love to see something more, as well as the fact that, you know, shotguns, their secondary doesn't really function very well. Their primary. So, for instance, the core eject, you know, I would have to swap off to be able to do anything. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, just something new with the shotgun would be really nice. I think then every weapon would feel fairly equal, aside from maybe, like, you know, default piercer. Oops. I mean, I already like default piercer. I have friends who like default piercer, so no problem with that, really. Anyway, next question. Arya Corvus says, favorite Souls game? I have actually never played any Souls games. Not a really big fan of the way the game plays out. I don't know, there's something about, oh yeah, move left, dodge, and like, oh, get ready to attack, and oh, the big weapons, oh, they look so cool and big, or whatever. Not something that appeals to me very much. I say that as a Cruelty Squad player, so I don't know. That's probably like the dumbest thing you've heard regarding the oversimplification of Dark Souls games, but, you know. Next question, Smaxy. Sorry, I'm trying to play and answer questions at the same time here. Smaxy says, thoughts on similar games to ULTRAKILL like Doom? And do you have any recommendations, maybe? So if you're talking about like fast-paced first-person shooters, I would definitely recommend this new game that is in development right now called Mycopunk. It's not like an ULTRAKILL game where it's like, you know, it is a kill 'em all, kinda, but it is a lot more like I don't know, like an extraction shooter in the same way that Helldivers or Deep Rock Galactic is. But it has a very fun aesthetic to it. The movement is very fast and fluid. I like that game a lot. I would definitely recommend you check it out. There's a free demo. It has multiplayer. Yeah, definitely check it out. Very fun. Next question from Sithros. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Why is the overheat saw blade better than the nail gun? Also, have you managed to find size 2? I tried catching the Leviathan. I got size 1. Please help. I personally think that the overheat saw blade and the overheat nail gun are fairly equal in strength. So I wouldn't say one is better than the other necessarily. One is definitely better than the other in terms of the role they fill. Overheat is very good for conduction, and the overheat nail gun is very good for conduction. The overheat saw blade is very good for just raw damage, just throwing something out there, not having to worry about it. So I don't know. I don't think I can compare the two really. Also, if I managed to find size 2, haha, very funny. I tried catching Leviathan. I got size 1. Please help. If you're looking for size 2, then I think you should check the bottom of the well in 5S. There's actually a Morse code sequence there that will help you, like, sort of lead you to where to find size 2. So yeah, that's the best advice I can give. Next question is from Acceptable as Generally Decent. Would you rather have to sword fight an orangutan or Wild West duel a chimp with revolvers? And there's a bit of a discussion going on here. The doer of random stuff says, sword fight, that chimp might fumble the gun, but I'm not best at aiming. And apparently they forgot it was a question for me. But I mean, I love that you guys are able to talk with one another, even if it's just a stupid question like this. You know, feel free to do exactly that whenever necessary. And that guy Star says, so basically fight either Donkey Kong with a sword or Diddy Kong. Yeah, I mean, I guess that is true. To answer the question seriously, I mean, not that I would want to be killing any orangutans or chimps, but I think that Wild West dueling a chimp would probably be best. They're fairly intelligent, but I think that if we just kind of threw each other into this scenario, I haven't used a gun in my life, right? The closest thing I've used to a gun is a Nerf gun or an airsoft gun, but I'd say that I'd have a better idea of how to handle a weapon than the chimp would, so I'm definitely going with that. Next question from the doer of random stuff is, would you rather have 79 chocolate bars or 56 alpacas? Fun fact about me, I actually don't like chocolate very much. I don't know, something about it. I think it's the milk in it. I like dark chocolate. I don't mind dark chocolate. Don't like white chocolate. So I think that I would definitely take the alpacas. I don't know, maybe get into a nature reserve or something. I don't know. I'd get better use out of them than a bunch of chocolate bars, I feel. Next question, what is your favorite jackhammer tech? Now that's a loaded question already. I think that I love core redirects or whatever, you know, we haven't really decided what to call them yet, but core redirects is the current name I've given them. Where you, here I'll show you. I messed it up. Alright, I'll do it on the sentry in this next part. I love core redirects. Definitely my favorite way to kill sentries. I messed it up again. There you go, that's a core redirect. Do it again on the gutterman here. Very fun. I think that's definitely up there. There's also, well, I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off in this room, but I'll try. Nope, yep. Death Stars, so... Oh, damn. Rockets are being pulled in, I'm an idiot. Yeah, there you go. Death Stars are fun as well. I feel like the core eject jackhammer has a lot going for it in terms of favorites, but I think I would definitely say that the pump charge jackhammer is my favorite. And the only reason why, in terms of tech, is because in the ULTRAKILL Discord, I was able to name the technique that I love using so much called jack shots. Call them jack shots, and you'll see in a minute I'll perform them on these guttermen. But it's essentially a long sequence of inputs that will get you like 25 DPS or so. Hold on. Right on this gutterman here. Oh, I totally messed it up, but essentially I'm just doing a ground slam for 2 damage, feedbacker for 1 damage, pumping during hit stop for 3.5, and the 6 from hitting yellow gauge, and that's up to like 12.5 damage, so very fun. I got to name it Jack Shots, love that. Didn't think I'd have that kind of impact on the community, but I think that I'd have to go with Jack Shots being my favorite for that reason. Next question is from the Yeeter to Leader. He says, serious question, how long did it take for you to get this good? I think probably around 700 hours. I didn't have any spoilers going into this game, especially for violence. I mean, like, obviously I heard of Gabriel and all that stuff from like, other people, but that's kind of, you know, unfortunately all people can talk about as far as advertising ULTRAKILL to people. Like, oh my god, Gabriel's so cool, oh my god, voice actor's so cool, etc., right? So yeah, I think it took me roughly 700 hours is what I would say. I'm currently sitting on 1200 hours, so it's been 500 hours since then. But when I finally understood stuff like the cyber grind, stuff like accruing style, stuff like, I don't know, using weapons beyond their basic facilities, it was definitely around 700 hours, I would say. And the next question, stupid question here. 100 pump charge jackhammers or 1 gorilla? Okay, well, I think just to honor this question, I'm gonna use nothing but the jackhammer for the rest of this level. The pump charge jackhammer. Just to prove a point. Next question from KJ. Smash or pass the gluttony door? An acceptable A is generally decent, says Chomp. So, oh, I already messed it up. Already messed it up again. I suck. Okay, well, kinda did it. Sure, actually, let me go grab the terminal over here. Make this fair and square. Next question from random person is, are you going to remake the ULTRAKILL weapon tier list from a while back? Short answer, yes. Long answer, it's gonna take me a minute because I'm gonna try to spin on it. I do have some updated opinions regarding the tier list. So, yes. I'm gonna update it. Oh, wow, okay. I just rode 2 gutter tank rockets, okay. I do have updated opinions about certain weapons. So I'm definitely gonna be featuring those opinions. But I think what I want to do is I want to make the tier list with some other friends who also play ULTRAKILL. I have a friend who's actually top 1000, who I've been mentoring for a while, and I want to have him tag along, as well as some other friends, maybe. Hexcellent as well. Just it's fun to have him around as well. I think we're going to craft a tier list together based off of our own tier list that we're going to make. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Expect that video whenever that decides to come out. Next question. Favorite weapon before Jackhammer, and were you playing before its release? I mean, since I'm at the terminal, I might as well look at them now. So we can't include Firestarter or Sawdon or Jumpstart. Those are all very fun. I think that my favorite weapon was probably the Sharpshooter, which is kind of a normie opinion. A lot of people gravitate towards the Sharpshooter as like the first cool weapon, aside from the Marksman, I'd say. Never really grew attached to the shotguns. I've always tried. I mean, like, it was definitely fun being able to, like, rapid parry Gutterman whenever in Violent, because, you know, they don't get enraged and they're very parryable. But, like, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to give it to the Sharpshooter. Makes you think the most, you know? So next question from Gino Blue. Are you a base screwdriver user? If you are, what are your favorite things to do with the screwdriver? I am a base screwdriver user, I would say. I think the screwdriver is much stronger than people think, and for reasons that people don't yet understand. Especially as a Jackhammer fan, they actually are much more related to one another than most people would think strategically. So I would definitely say I'm a screwdriver fan, base screwdriver user, and my favorite thing to do, I'm gonna have to save for a video. I'm gonna have to do it, I'm sorry. But you'll see it, it'll probably be my next video coming up. And also, what changes would you like they make to the screwdriver, if any? I would say, because, and this is, I think anyone who uses a screwdriver will agree that, like, this is kind of annoying. I'll, like, just provide an example real quick. Like, when it comes to using any other rail cannon, you, it's definitely easy to do what you're trying to do. Like, you know, using the rail cannon to shoot your coins with the electric rail cannon, or using the mal rail to shoot your core. It's a very forgiving hitbox. But when it comes to using the screwdriver, it is less so. Yeah, like, even just then, as an example, what I'm trying to do, it doesn't easily let me do it. But not to mention the fact that, you know, if I try to parry the jackhammer into another enemy, the actual screw is so narrow that it'll more than likely end up missing if I'm trying to, like, chain the screwdriver between Virtues or Maurice's or something like that. Like, easy, slow-moving targets. I mean, like, obviously it'd be nice if they made the screwdriver a hit scan so it could go off of coins and stuff like that. You know, throwing a coin and punching the screwdriver into a coin would be sick as hell. So, I mean, there's all sorts of ways they could make it cooler without making it directly stronger. I don't know. But I definitely like a wider hitbox for the screwdriver projectile. That's definitely something I would like to see. Next question is from Echo Rex. They say, what is your favorite level in the game? And if you've tried custom levels, what is your favorite custom level too? I don't remember the name of it. It's like a sort of a Gluttony-inspired level. It's like, I don't know, sort of Gluttony coming into the Lust layer or whatnot. I don't remember. That one's pretty cool. There's a specific level, the Fraudulent series is definitely very cool as well. I like the music in that one as well. I forget the artist who did it. I'll put them up on screen right now if I remember to do that. But the music from that is also really great. I feel like it's very true to ULTRAKILL. So I'd say, yeah, 8-1, 8-1, whatever that level's called. Valley of Fools. But my favorite regular ULTRAKILL level, I think, in terms of, like, aesthetic, any of the levels in the Violence layer are definitely there for aesthetic, I have to say. But my favorite level ever is probably 5-1. In the Wake of Poseidon. I love the water level so much. I think that, I wish there were more water levels, to be honest. I think that, you know, once you learn movement, the way it feels to have your movement carried and your momentum suspended, like for long periods of time, is really fun. So yeah, I would have to give it to that one, 5-1. Also because Deep Blue is just such an amazing song. Sorry, locking in a bit here. The egg says, will we ever find love? I'm inclined to say yes. I think that there are many eggettes out there, especially for you. I think you're a very charming individual. I've talked to you in other people's comment sections a little bit. Talked to you in my own comment section. You're very fun. I love the bit that you do, being the egg and all that, so I'm gonna say yes. For you at least, I don't know. Random Crit says, what do you hope for regarding the future of ULTRAKILL? Also smash or pass yellow terminal. I mean, I guess yellow terminal's got a good smile. So that's the only merit I can see, though. Very generous. I think their love language is gifts with how many weapons and color combinations they give us. But that's all I can read into. I'm gonna say pass. Helica says, would you remember me, Helica360, if you get to 1 million subs? First of all, the prospect of getting to 1 million subs is insane. If I do, obviously I'm quitting all of my jobs and all my future aspirations. But I don't know. I guess I will write your name down and see if I can. That's TBD if I will remember it. Your second question, how much time does it take for you to discover new tech? I just kind of fuck around in the sandbox a lot, and I'll find stuff. I think the only tech with the jackhammer that I found that I didn't like find myself, like sorry, let me rephrase. The Death Star tech, the one where you hit your rocket in your core and all that, I actually found that from someone else's video and thought I could find a way to optimize it, make it consistent. That's kind of the only tech that I had found that someone else made. Everything else I found myself, albeit everything was already kind of, like all the tech that I featured in my videos has pretty much been covered, except for jack shots. Obviously like yellow hit spam is fairly common, but the series of inputs that I've made is the only like truly original thing. But yeah. Your third question is, why did you make the channel? I originally made the channel, I don't know why. I think one of my first videos is a bottle flipping video. I was really young. I just wanted to see what it was like to make something. I'm around very creative people, and I also intend to make stuff that is creative, I guess, so I don't know. I don't know why I made the channel, but I'm glad that it's turned out to be something ULTRAKILL related, because I love this game to pieces, if you couldn't tell. Sorry, locking in slightly. Just getting past this part. Alright. Next question. Between Gabe or Minos, which one would you smash? I don't know. I don't really like Gabe's mannerisms. Minos is cool. He is the same body type as one of my friends, so I'm gonna have to say Minos. P.S. I love you, Ryan. And have you seen Indie Cross? If you have, share your thoughts. I have not seen Indie Cross. I've been invited to watch it, but that plan hasn't really come to fruition yet. Though I have obviously seen like the V1 stuff and the Gabriel stuff. That was kind of some of the first things my friends told me about when Indie Cross came out. I don't know, it doesn't particularly interest me, but I think I'll definitely give it a try, see if I like it at all. Usually don't like these things, but we'll see. Alright, next question. That Guy Star has 7 questions for me. First question, which jackhammer do you prefer the most? It's definitely, I think my, like, 0.01 percentile goes to, like, the forward check jackhammer, but I think again I have to give it to the pump charge. It's just simple, easy. I love in my head thinking of all like the damage thresholds for killing enemies and finding a way to kill an enemy in a very efficient way. And you can only really manipulate the numbers easily enough with the pump charge jackhammer. So yeah, that to me is probably my favorite. Just like, I don't know, it appeases me number-wise. Which shotgun do you prefer the most? I hate all of them, but I think I would have to say the sawed-on shotgun, mainly because the sawed-on jackhammer and the sawed-on shotgun don't have much tech. And if there was any shotgun I would ever swap to, it would definitely be the sawed-on. Pre-boosting while launching the chainsaw is very fun, to say the least. I think I'm going to play through Wrath, because I did talk about how much I love Deep Blue, so let me show y'all my love for this level. Third question, is the extreme shotgun hate in a channel related gag, or actually what you think of the weapon type? I think it sucks. I do think it genuinely sucks. I've talked with a lot of people in the ULTRAKILL Discord who generally agree that the jackhammer is better. The only thing that they could possibly argue for is the pump charge being like somewhat equal, which is like fair. I feel like it's the only shotgun that really rivals jackhammers. But yeah, everyone generally agrees that every shotgun sucks to some extent compared to the jackhammer. So it's not really a gag. It's very real. Obviously, like, I'll poke fun, but it comes from a place of truth. What's the origin of your username and profile picture? So my real name is Berkeley, and I have curly hair, so in elementary school, there was a nickname I got, Broccolite, and that's kind of just how that, because, you know, broccoli sounds like Berkeley, and the head of broccoli looks like someone with curly hair. So it sort of just stuck. It was originally used to be like demeaning, but after a while I kind of just wore it on my shoulder, and people just refer to me as the broccoli guy, and it's super fun. My profile picture, I made that myself, Photoshop. There's actually a card in a game called Gwent, from like The Witcher, and I basically just took his body and put a piece of broccoli over it in Photoshop, and that was my profile picture. I don't know, I liked the way it looked, so I was just, this is fun, and I did it. Nothing crazy, no crazy lore dump. Which of the Prime Souls do you like most? I think Sisyphus, just because he's bigger. Minos is cool because he's like, you know, he's like a mosquito and whatnot, just kind of going around doing his own thing. He's a little bit boring once you understand his pattern. Sisyphus is constantly a battle of, can you parry me? And as someone who doesn't have very good reflexes, I think it's very fun to sort of try to read into what he's going to do next. Especially with the Be Gone attack. I still haven't mastered parrying that, but I eventually would love to. What are your favorite games besides ULTRAKILL? I'd say, to give a top 3, up there, definitely Risk of Rain. I love Risk of Rain, love the mods for it, most of the mods. Anyone in the Risk of Rain modding community understands that some of them are pretty funky. Besides ULTRAKILL. Here, I'm gonna tab out and go to my Steam real quick. Cruelty Squad's pretty good. Helldivers is definitely up there. And then I think finally Garden Warfare 2. Yeah, I think that's the loadout right there. Garden Warfare 2, Risk of Rain, and Helldivers. All shooters. Love shooters to pieces. So, how the fuck did you pump out quality content for like a year now with less than 1K subs? I don't know. I think that I tend to doubt that my content is quality. I look back at some of the stuff and I'm like, this could be better. But there are some videos I'm very proud of. So I think generally it was just staying away from slop and staying true to what I feel I'm good at with this game, and that's teaching people how to do the things that are cool. A lot of people are just like, yo, you should like parry your shotgun bullets, and like, yo, you should like shoot your coin with your rail cannon. Oh, you can parry anything. You can parry Minos' fist, and that's kind of like all you really hear about from people who are like teaching people to get into the game. I feel like I have a skill where I can bridge the beginner to intermediate to advanced. So yeah, I want to really focus on that in terms of content, and maybe do like challenge videos or like just opinion pieces. You know, like I feel like that's what I'm good at, so I'm gonna stick to that, and hopefully that'll get me past 1K, 2K, 3K, and whatever it takes. You know. Next series of questions comes from Big Boss Diamond Dogs. How can I improve in ULTRAKILL? Give me a few tips. I would say first way you improve, literally just pick up the jackhammer. First tip. Get all of the alternate weapons. That's like, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer, but in my opinion, the way you improve is through the jackhammer, and that's because the jackhammer teaches you how to play the game in an intermediate to advanced way. It teaches you how to pull out of a fight. It teaches you how to manage your speed. It teaches you how to deal damage to targets that need to be dealt with first. It's kind of just the perfect intermediate weapon in my opinion. So yeah, that would be my #1 tip. Aside from that, obviously go to the sandbox, practice a lot. Would be another tip. Yeah, I mean, I can't really think of much off the top of my head. Those are pretty basic, but I think definitely my best tip is use the jackhammer. It will do all of the teaching for you. I'm serious. Would you remember me in the future if you become famous? Okay, so another name, Big Boss Diamond Dogs. I guess I'll stick that to the corkboard of names I'm supposed to remember, and donate the millions of dollars or whatever I get to them whenever, because I've remembered them. Why did you start making videos in ULTRAKILL? I like the game, and when I think, what was my first ULTRAKILL video? Yeah, let me go check what my first ULTRAKILL video was. Yeah, okay, so even though this looks like V1, these are Yomi Hustle videos, but my first ULTRAKILL video, I just thought it was funny. Yeah, in this video, I'm just kind of playing the game, and the whole idea was cyber grinding every hour until I pee myself, and I was like, okay, I want to make just a couple videos titled this, and eventually I want to just stop posting the videos, sort of to imply that I peed myself. Dumb joke, but after making it, I was like, it kind of opened the door for, what if I took this more seriously? And I think the next video I made was a tier list? No, next video I made was Neuron Activator. This was the video I remember. Okay, yeah, this was the video that really taught me, like, I can make stuff and people will watch it. Oh wow, this is loud. Because I think this was the first video that was ULTRAKILL related that really popped off. Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Cruelty Squad music. Love Cruelty Squad. But yeah. As you can see, I was a triple jackhammer enthusiast from the very start. Yeah, I think it was Neuron Activator, this exact video, that showed me, like, hey, this is what's gonna get me into making content I enjoy. I still use this loadout right here. I still use every weapon in this loadout this way. Next question. Are you going to react to the Layer 8 fraud teaser trailer and make a video on it? I probably will. I don't want to just leave it at, like, oh, Broccolite reacts to fraud teaser trailer, you know what I mean? Because, again, I feel like that kind of gets a little bit into the slop content. I don't want to do that. I think if I want to do that, I want to go into it, watch it, and play the modded levels of fraud. To sort of give an idea of, like, this is just to compare the player expectations and, like, my expectations with the actual trailer, I think would be a fun video. But yeah, June 8th, get excited. I'm very excited for it. And fifth question, are you going to continue making videos on ULTRAKILL techs? I need more power. Yes, of course I will. Again, next video is probably going to be, oh wow, this looks terrible with my graphic settings. I'm gonna skip this level. I don't like this level very much. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to make videos on ULTRAKILL tech. I think after I like touch base on all of the rail cannons, I think we're gonna move on to sort of like the niche weapons. Like, for instance, the default sharpshooter. I love the default sharpshooter over the alternate, so I'm definitely gonna touch on that a little bit. Probably cybergrind tips. Again, talk about like other people's recordings of their gameplay and try to critique that. More weapon discussions. I've got all sorts of ideas for what I want to do. Challenge videos. But all of it should hopefully focus around tech I've learned to help me accomplish these challenges, to help me develop these opinions. Yeah, it'll all be related in some way or another. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. And this is the final question that I have so far. Favorite FPS weapon besides the jackhammer, of course. Now, this is actually one of my favorite questions ever to ask anyone. I've asked this question to a lot of my friends. Just whatever their favorite weapon ever is. Like, I think the metrics, my personal favorite metrics, like, just feel and soundness and, like, you know, how the power fantasy you get from using it. All of these things are felt in the jackhammer, the depth of the weapon, right? Like, anything beyond, oh, I can carry my shotgun bullets is interesting to me. But if I had to choose anything that wasn't the jackhammer, that is a task. I don't think it would be anything from ULTRAKILL, but, I've heard answers between, like, the portal gun or, like, I think one of the lever action rifles from Red Dead Redemption is really fun, especially because, like, apparently there's, like, a mechanic with how letting go of the trigger will actually flick the lever in a certain way. Very cool stuff. I mean, like, I've heard all sorts of answers, but if I had to give an actual answer, I think a weapon that would be up there would definitely be, man, this is a tough question. Hold on, let me take a minute. I think my answer is probably gonna be the Blitzer from Helldivers. I think that's it right there. And in close second, I think is the riot control, like the gas sprayer from Cruelty Squad. I don't forget what the weapon's called, but I love the way that weapon feels. Love the way the Blitzer feels. The sounds are really nice. Makes it feel powerful. The effects of what it does, very nice as well. Personally, when it comes to Helldivers, I'm a gas diver main, if any of you play. My friends refer to me as the Stink because of it. Yeah, so I think my final answer would definitely be the Blitzer from Helldivers. And hopefully I put an image of it on screen so you guys can see what it looks like or how it behaves. But, yeah, I mean, that generally concludes this. I guess I'm just gonna finish this level, and I'll take the time now to thank you all for subscribing. Genuinely, like, reaching 1K is incredible. I've already made like $2 off of just not making any content at all, which to me is like, when I'm gonna start pumping out content, the longer form videos, the more informed videos, like I'm hoping to make the Jackhammer Compendium at some point. Like, I've got plans, and reaching this milestone has definitely got me excited. So yeah, I mean, stay tuned. Hopefully, tell your friends. Look out for that Broccolite Discord when it comes out, obviously. I think from here on out, I want to enforce a no tolerance policy for shotgun users. I think maybe if you use one, that being the pump charge, you're okay. But if you're not using triple jackhammer in any other case, then I don't think I want you in my community. You know, the jackhammer propaganda never stops. And, you know, the only way to get good is to get fast. So that concludes this Q&A, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.